Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's just awesome that you're tuning in. In today's video, we are going to do a chit chat regarding this Bluetooth game controller. You know, when it comes to AliExpress products, we know that we can expect all kinds of craziness and shenanigans when it comes to these controllers. You know, fake ones, one-on-one replicas, and even some PlayStation 5 knockoffs. Yeah, they're out there. They're sometimes being sold with a combination of game boxes, but now you can buy one from one of the local shops in Europe called The Action. Yeah, seriously. So what you're getting is actually a PlayStation 5 controller look for PlayStation 4 to make it even more confusing and even weirder. And so let's open it up and let's do a quick peek in the inside. So when it comes to these controllers, the overall quality, it's debatable. I have been checking out comments. I love when people put in comments in here. So let me know in the comments, did you buy it and what is your expectation, or at least what did you think of it? So my first impression that this thing is quite heavy. So let's see what we're getting inside. So we do have a normal, okay, USB-C cable. And yeah, that is not normal. Sometimes we do get these horrible cheap cables, but that's not the case with this. So it seems to be looking nice. Okay, yeah. Not like a special gaming cable, whatever. So the manual explains a little bit of the product itself, how many milliamp the battery is, but there is no like indication how long the controller will work. So that's kind of weird if you ask me. So having a weight of 237. Yeah, I would say that's overall not bad. I can just feel it when actually holding this controller. The D-pad feels quite nice. I'm curious how it will play for fighting games and other stuff. We do have like cheap normal analog sticks. I love the rubber compound. I think they call it concave joysticks, do I say it correctly? And I love it, man. Like the way how it feels. I want to say it's authentic to the PlayStation 5. It's nowhere near original PlayStation 5 quality. But the front-facing buttons, don't know for sure. These things feel kind of weird in my opinion. And yeah, the travel is quite long, and that is something I personally don't love. All of the features of the PlayStation 4 controller is implemented. Also the gyroscope, if you want to use that. Powering on will give you LEDs that will indicate if it's connected or whatsoever. And yeah, everything is in here. It even comes with a turbo button. That's something I'm going to be loving a lot. At the back we're finding some extra buttons, and they are, what I understand of, automatically mapped to the top button or the shoulder buttons and the trigger buttons. However, it's kind of convenient if you just want to have like a different overall experience when it comes to shooters. It has like a very nice travel when it comes to, and a very nice curve. So the trigger buttons feel nice, and the shoulder buttons are micro switched. So we have a very short travel, and they feel kind of nice. And at the bottom we're having, of course, the input for your headphone and the USB connection at the top for charging the controller. So that's it. The first part, let's connect it to the PlayStation 4. Man, I'm dusting off the PlayStation 4 like after months not using it. However, we're going to be using it especially for the review here. So we're going to be plugging in the controller. So what you're going to be doing is plugging it in and pressing the home button. And if everything as it should be, it will automatically boot up and we can get into the, we can normally. So that's a problem that I've noticed before, that sometimes it doesn't connect. So what you need to do is reset the controller. In my case, I'm going to be using a paperclip. You also have these phone tools for opening up SIM cards. There's another one you can go to. Nevertheless, let's put this thing in. You can feel the press of a button, and that's it. It will automatically reset, and that will solve the problem most of the time. Because now we can actually boot up into the game, connect everything, and it works like a charm. So the first game I wanted to check out is some Wipeout. One of the things I was really curious about is how will the responses of the joystick. So the reason I am always playing Wipeout, I can just actually dream this game. I've been playing it so much, I love Wipeout. So one of the positive things is you can see me spinning, and that has to do because of the responsiveness of the joystick. It is very responsive, maybe a little bit too responsive. So if you're going to be playing shooters, take note, these fake or let's say aftermarket controls will play completely different when you're looking at, let's say, the original controller. So for shooting, I have been talking with people who are playing shooting games, and most of them will say I need to get used to it, as some of them cannot even get used to it because it will give you such a completely overall game experience. So the rumble motors in this thing are just absolutely not. They are like way more aggressive, or at least like noticeable compared with the original controller. I don't mind it. You can notice that there are two separate rumble motors in this, because with the cheaper controllers I've reviewed in the past, they had most of the time I like single rumble motors, and they were quite aggressive and very basic. But rumble wise, this thing is great. I love it. I'm getting used to the controller as I'm actually like making this video, but I just love it. I love the responsiveness of the joystick, and this thing is just great. And maybe I'll even keep it in my collection for once. However, how is it when it comes to the turbo button? So I just wanted to see if we can use it. For example, with this particular game, it's not maybe the best game to test it out, but I just wanted to see. Let's press the turbo button, use the shooting, and now it's going to be throwing my lasso all the freaking time. So that works perfectly, but I think it's going to be very convenient if you want to play some shmups. If you're going to be connecting this to an, let's say, an emulation box or whatsoever, this is one of the things I'm going to be enjoying a lot. A very cool features that we're getting for a cheap controller that almost costs like, I think not even like $20 freaking dollars. So when it comes to the PlayStation 4, I did have a little bit of a problem connecting it for the first time, but after the reset it seems to be working just fine. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding this controller. How does it actually work on the PC? So that is what we're going to be doing in the next part of this video, connecting it to a PC, and what I understand is that you can use it with the Bluetooth and the cable. So let's take a close look at the PC part. I'm not afraid it's not going to be compatible with PC. What I am afraid of that some games I play a lot don't have the compatibility with this controller. Due of the X input, some of the controls are lacking off. However, going to be plugging it in, I can hear the bleep, so everything seems to be working. So it's going to be connecting with PC, and yep, we can just browse through the big picture mode of Steam without any problem. So that's great. So it works plug and play. You can also use the Bluetooth functionality from your PC, what I understand of, but I'm going to be using the cable because it's so much easier to actually test it out. And again, we don't need the battery in the inside, we can just plug it in and play. So first off, we're starting off with some Street of Rage. And Street of Rage is going to be fun because we're going to be using the D-pad to see how it will navigate the character through the stage itself. But I can tell that this thing is absolutely great when it comes to playing some fighting games. I still really need to get used to the front facing buttons because it is not going to be an overall superb experience. The D-pad is amazing on this, so later on I also want to do some fighting games to see if we can actually play that. For beat 'em up and indie games, this is going to be one of my maybe favorite controllers to use, simply because of the turbo function, and it's quite comfortable to play. However, I was getting into the Killer Instinct game, and unfortunately that doesn't work at all. I've been trying to boot it up a couple of times, so yeah, play anyway. Nope, I don't have any internet connected at the PC at this moment, but you can see it doesn't do anything, and that is quite unfortunate. I've been noticing this a lot. There are some tweaks and some, let's say, things you can do to actually get it work, but I just want to see, can I just plug it in and can I actually be playing the game? Because Killer Instinct is one of those tests I love to do, because not every controller is compatible with this game and many others. The final test for me is going to be the D-pad itself. How will it respond to fighting games? So I've been messing around with it, and I've noticed that fighting games are quite comfortable to play with the D-pad. So I was quite surprised because the D-pad is something they completely mess up in most of the controllers, and all of the directions seem to be working fine. Had a little struggle because the CPU was going to be annoying me all the freaking time with the sliding, but beside that, all of the moves came out without any problem. And again, the front-facing buttons I need to really get used to, but beside that, yep, it's a great controller for playing some fighting games. But so far, so good. I must say that I really enjoyed myself playing this controller. So it works with PlayStation 4, and also PC, and no PlayStation 5. It's kind of funny that they keep like using the PlayStation 5 skin. Maybe it's the manufacturer in China does it, and they are just selling it as a Battletron product. However, thank you all for watching, and it will be great to see you in the next video. Video.